What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we are going to be discussing and showcasing the best PvP pulse rifle that you are currently not using. Now that's because I think this weapon is absolutely top tier. Like, it can hang with the best of them. You can take this into trials, in fact I did. You could take this into sweaties and do just fine, compete with those top tier guns. But I almost never, in fact, screw the almost, I never see this gun. I cannot recall one time in the past, 6 months that I've been killed with this gun in PvP. I'm sure I have maybe once or twice, but I just can't remember it. Seriously, I never ever see this gun. And yet I've been using it and doing work with this gun. And the reason I'm really making this video is because I made a video showcasing a bunch of funny Trials of Osiris moments with a run with Astercross and Blessius. Hope you guys check out that video. It is definitely worth a watch. But so many people were commenting like, wait a minute, what primer are you using? What gun is this? I felt like it was, who's that Pokemon, but what's that pulse rifle, fam? Like, seriously, a lot of people were asking what this gun is. So, this is me answering that question, making a video showcasing one of the kind of hidden gems of Destiny right now. This gun is attainable, and it's attainable easily, and is seriously absolute top tier. So let's talk about it. It's called the Aegis of the Reef, or Aegis of the Reef. I don't really know which one, but it's something of the Reef. And this pulse rifle, firstly, its archetype is phenomenal. It belongs to the second fastest damage archetype for pulse rifles. So the Clever Dragon and the Grasp of Malik, those are the fastest firing archetypes. This is one slower than that, so doing a little bit more damage, but shooting again very, very fast, capable of a 3 burst kill if you land all headshots. Now, some of the other pulse rifles in this category include the Hawksaw, the Blind Perdition, and the Suros PDX-45. Those are 3 absolute top tier weapons. Like, I'm sure you guys recognize, especially the Blind Perdition. That thing tears up in the Crucible. Like, that thing is very present. You see that a lot being used in PvP. And this is of the same damage archetype, so it's going to be dropping people just as fast. So that's step number 1 for a gun being good, is that it belongs to a really good damage archetype. That's one of the huge factors in competitiveness in PvP, and this gun definitely does. But it also has phenomenal starting stats and just like god tier rolls it's capable of landing. So mine personally, first of all, you got a chroma. Now that's probably not actually important whatsoever, but it's pretty cool to put a chroma on. And then we've got some decent sights that can spawn with Steady Hand IS, which is going to increase the stability, one of the better things you're looking for. I got a Red Dot OES, which is, great sight picture, like nothing wrong with that sight. We then have Perfect Balance, increasing the already insane stability. Like, you can see when I go over Oiled Frame, the stability, as if I took off Perfect Balance, doesn't even go down by that much. The Aegis of the Reef spawns with already phenomenal starting stability. So much so that you really don't need any stability increasing perks. Like, if you have some, you might as well use some, but instead of Perfect Balance, you can actually get the perk Send It. Send It drastically increases the range. Like, Send It is like Hammer Forged on steroids. It's a perk from a long time away. I think it was in year 1. Send It was a kind of around, and Bungie kind of removed it and then has been cherry picking certain guns to put it back in. Not many guns can spawn with Send It, especially pulse rifles. That's a big deal. You can get really ridiculous range because of that perk. Now in the middle tier, I have Lightweight. Guys, this is trash. This is a trash tier perk. Lightweight is not a good perk, and I am still making an entire video saying how good this Aegis of the Reef is. I've still dominated in PvP. I've still done well in Trials of Osiris because of this gun, and it has an arguably mediocre spawn because Lightweight just isn't that good. That's how powerful this gun is. You don't need the absolute god roll for this gun to be good. Its starting stats make it so that so many different rolls with this weapon are still viable and still competitive. And Lightweight, instead of spawning Lightweight, you can actually spawn full auto, which is, it's pretty good last time I checked. And if that's not your cup of tea, you can also spawn, yup, high caliber rounds. So imagine my same role with high caliber rounds. That would be absurd. And lastly, I have Headseeker. Now, instead of Headseeker, you can spawn several good perks. Frankly, you can spawn Counterbalance. Instead of Life Support, you can spawn Outlaw. There's quite a few really good perks in these two last perk slots. But honestly, I've been really enjoying Headseeker. It really increases the consistency. It means that even if you do get a body shot every once in a while, your headshot damage increases, and it makes it so that you can still get that optimal time to kill. You can still get those 3 burst kills. And Headseeker with this weapon I've really enjoyed because the Aegis is so accurate. It has such a good recoil pattern that I feel like you don't really need counterbalance. With some of the other pulse rifles, for example the Hawksaw, I remember using that and it kind of did burst off to the right, like to the side, and every once in a while I would miss a shot or two because of that, and I wasn't a fan. And so when I got a really good Hawksaw, I made sure to get one with counterbalance because I felt that was really important. Now, of course, that's a lot of personal preference, but I really do feel like the Aegis of the Reef has such a good recoil pattern. It recoils basically straight up, maybe a little bit of side to side, that you don't need counterbalance, and that frees up your last slot for something like Headseeker, for something like Outlaw, for something like even Life Support would be decent. That is definitely a pretty big upside. So that is why this gun is good, in my opinion. It spawns with ridiculous stats, except for the magazine. The magazine only comes in at 24. That is kind of the balancing factor of this gun. It spawns with such ridiculous starting stability that if it had a magazine of 30, like, this thing would be unarguably the best pulse rifle in the game. Like, it wouldn't even be close. The Blind Perdition would be like totally second tier to this gun. But it does have that slightly smaller magazine, and that is a downside, I'm not gonna lie. But 24 rounds when you kill in 3 bursts and with a gun this accurate, it's not that big of a deal. Also, I don't know if you saw, but the reload is almost maxed out. What is this gun? Like, yes, it spawns with a low magazine size, 24, but the reload is almost completely maxed. I have 0 perks on this gun that increase the reload. Literally 0, and it's that good. So the magazine isn't even that big of a deal. Like, people are gonna, and it's right for me to cite that as the one downside, but again, it really isn't too bad to just get a kill, reload, get a kill, reload. Like, that is totally manageable with this weapon. So again, ridiculous starting stats, a great damage archetype to belong to, and so many good perk combinations. Again, I have a relatively mediocre roll considering some of the rolls you can get, and I love this gun. So that should tell you how good the perks it can roll with are. So now the question remains, well, how do you get this gun? I'm sure you guys want to know, okay, how do I get my Aegis of the Reef? Well, I'll tell you exactly how, and this is the best part because anyone can do this. Like, it doesn't drop from trials. You don't have to go 9-0. You don't have to grind the Crucible nonstop. This is actually from a PvE activity. This is actually from leveling up your House of Judgment ranking by playing the Prison of Elders. That's it. You don't have to do the Challenge of Elders where you have to get 30,000. That's a whole another category of guns. This is just leveling up your overall House of Judgment ranking. Like, it's that green symbol that a lot of you, I guarantee, are ignoring right now. And it's so easy to do Prison of Elders. The light level is only 160 if you do the level 41 version, which has matchmaking, which is fantastic. That means that any of you guys can go in and do that and get a team and beat it relatively easily. Yes, it can be a little bit grindy to level it up, but if you do, this is some of the loot you can get. A fantastic top tier pulse rifle. And actually, while we're on the topic, this pulse rifle is not the only good gun you can get from leveling up your House of Judgment. The auto rifle, for example, the auto rifle is a fast-firing auto rifle that can spawn with Send It and have, like, ridiculous range. That's kind of what I'm going for right now. Send It, counterbalance, and I think you can get 1 stability increasing perk, but even if you can't, it spawns with pretty good stability. That's a whole other topic. I'm getting off track, but leveling up your House of Judgment, the point I'm making is that it's kind of worth it. There's some really, again, hidden gems, stuff people have forgotten about. Not many people are doing Prison anymore. There's some really good weapons you can get from those activities. And so guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. If you want an incredibly good pulse rifle that you barely see anyone using, the Aegis of the Reef is waiting for you. And if you enjoy pulse rifles, if you have a good Hawksaw and you really like that archetype, definitely try to get your hands on this, because I think it's arguably better depending on the roll you get. And that's quite a big statement to make, because the Hawksaw is redonk. Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Now if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.